Hey, welcome Connected Life. I'm Dr. Steve here with your dose of how to break the fears of insecurities so that you stand your ground in relationship. Look forward to it. All right, so this one I think will be fairly simple to digest for you, hopefully. And I was coaching with a young mother, but I still think that this is applicable across the board, so I wanted to share this with you. Is that as she was interacting with her kids, she was feeling a little timid and a bit insecure about her value to her kids. And in fact, most of what was happening is she was comparing herself to a couple instances that she's done and her kids have experienced over the years. And she kind of biased her mind and her emotional state around that and basically identified with these couple of things that she thought, you know, she was kind of upset about that happened with her kids. And so when she moved around the kids, when she was around the kids, she felt this little piece of her that felt a bit insecure and that was devalued and just that feeling where we just don't feel like we're enough around those people. And so we can tend to overcompensate and walk on eggshells a bit when it comes to stuff like that. So I want to just give you something that we did together just to break some of the fear, apprehension, and insecurities that come in relationship. And the number one way that I know to begin the process of revaluing yourself in a relationship so that you just stand in space and presence in the relationship is to ask the question of what value do I bring to the relationship, which is exactly what I asked her. I said, well, what value do you bring as a mother? What value do you bring as a kid? Now, if you're a dad, you could say the exact same thing. What value do I bring as a father to these kids? And don't get caught up with vague generalities, because the first thing I asked her when she said that, she's like, well, I don't know, I love them. And like you had these vague generalities. And so I sat with her for about 45 minutes and we just knocked out very specific details about the value that she brought to her kids. And this is one step in rising to the occasion and breaking the fears of different insecurities and different things that happen in family dynamics over time. So, she said, I taught them life skills to brush their teeth, tie their shoes. And her kids are a bit older, but we started back from scratch again about like, what's the value that you brought to these kids? To properly do the chores, how to walk, how to talk. How to be a good friend, how to listen, how to be considerate, how to say no, how to stand up for themselves, how to play respectfully, how to be independent, cleaning, laundry. So those were a handful of things. Looking here, to never settle. I prepared them to let them know about drugs and survival and what's the real world like. Setting goals, budgeting, a laundry list. We have about 40 things here that we stacked her value specifically so that it rises energy in the spine. She can hold a stronger spine, and when she's around them, she's not focusing on what doesn't work, on where she's lacking, but she's focusing, her whole system's focusing on the value that she's bringing. Then she can be more authentic. But the catch is oftentimes we get caught in one or two things and we beat ourselves up about those and we devalue ourselves and we come from a place of lack. And so we also cleaned up a little area that she, felt that she wished she didn't bring her kids through, and found all the ways in which that specific scenario benefited the kids and the value that was brought to them. It was around something like a divorce or something like that, which my parents were divorced, so I came by that very honestly to tell her all the values that I got as a kid from divorced parents. And so we worked on that and ramped that up so that she could see, hey, you know what? Divorce is really for the kids. It's on the way, not in their way, and they're more adaptable because of it, and they have more relationship dynamics because of it. And so we spent about in close to an hour just ramping up her value in with her kids. And you can do this with anybody. Anywhere where you feel a little sheepish, a little insecure, a little down, a little intimidated, you just start writing down. It could be even to your boss. It could be to lots of different things. Maybe you got a new job and you're feeling a bit insecure about the value that you bring to the organization. Okay, great. What value do you actually bring? What are all the skill sets that you bring? What are all the gifts and the talents that you bring to the table? So I did this with her. Again, it took 45 minutes to an hour of just writing down in every little detail that she could think of all the things that she taught and brought value to the kids. When she left there, she felt great. There was a few tears along the way in terms of her reflecting of all the years that had gone by. And at the same time, there's an appreciation for herself and in terms of like, wow, like I was there as a mom doing my thing, teaching them, showing them the way, showing them how to survive, showing them how to thrive, showing them how to live, showing them how to have a relationship, all those things. And we just stacked that up so she could see her value and worth with the kids. And I say this because oftentimes, it's one or two things that throw our systems off, that have us devalue ourselves in a relationship. And very quickly, the amygdala and the stress and anxiety centers forgets the amazing things that we've brought to a relationship, the amazing things that we've contributed, the energy that we've brought to relationships can be very quickly suppressed and discounted because of things that we wish weren't happening or things that we're not so proud of or whatever that is. So I'm here to remind you that if you just go in and you detail out all your value, you will begin to move your energy and blood and sugars to the proper centers of the brain so that you can hold your worth and your space around as many people as you need. And anywhere where you feel insecure, you ramp up your value. And I assure you, if you do that, you will see your value and your worth relative to the other people. And to me, it's a big game changer because, the confidence and self-worth is a sliding scale depending on what we're focusing on. And if we're focusing on things that aren't working, our confidence is going to be minimized. And if we're focusing on the value that we're bringing to people, our confidence and our worth rises because we see how us as an expression there's just inherent value there just to being alive and to being around and to being around people. And so I want you to know your worth and know your value to all the people that are in your life. And this is a very simple exercise that you can do that. Again, we spent an hour rhyming off, I don't know, there's like 50 in total, 50 things that she taught her kids and the value that she brought to them. By the end of it, she was good. She was ready to go. A new spine, new life, and a new perspective on what she brings to her kids. So again, you can apply this wherever you need, and hopefully this was helpful. Go claim your worth, release the fear of your insecurities, and go live your best life. We'll talk to you soon.